How's it going, guys? Welcome to today's video. I'm just after taking a few tyres off the pit. I'm going to feed out a few grabs of silage there for the milkers. I'll be coming in there later, and I'm going to do that quickly because then I got to go over to the other yard to load dung. A little bit of dung over the other yard. We're going to get it out. Closing date is for spreading dung is the 1st of November. So it's not sure what date today is. It's late October anyway. So we're going to get that out. I don't really have anywhere to put the tyres at the moment, so I'm just throwing them up on the front of this pit. We'll be eating this pit from the back anyway, so I have a long time to move them, and I'll probably end up using those bales in spring, so I can just pile the tyres here for the moment, and then I can move them up against where those bales are then when their bales are gone out of the way. So in my last video we had opened this pit and started feeding silage. Cows had been producing about 14.5 litres. They actually ended up dropping to less than 14 litres. Think about 13.8 litres a day at the point that we had introduced the silage, and I was hoping that the silage would help pick that back up to over the 14 litres, which it did, which I was very happy to see. It's quite good silage. I'm still waiting on test results to come back, so I'm not 100% sure what's in it, but it is very good. The cows are licking up every little bit of it. They're loving it. But what I did not expect was that milk production would continue to climb. Now cows are producing 15.5 litres. That's a big jump from where we were. I'm very happy with that performance. The other thing that was really bewildered me, which I was not expecting to see, was the protein percentage in our milk has also increased. And increased quite a bit by about 0.1 or 0.2%. And I was really surprised by this because silage normally ends up knocking protein because it's not high in protein as grass is. So it makes me ask the question, is all that extra production coming solely from just a couple of kilos of silage? Or is there something else going on? After a discussion group meeting that I went to last week, or this week, and talking to our consultant, the conclusion is that the silage is actually also helping the cows get more out of everything else they're eating. Right now, grass is low dry matter. We're getting regular rain. It's October. Dry matter is probably at 20% or lower. And also digestibility is really high. Our pre-grazing covers are lower than normal. They're probably in around 1100, but all of the grass they're consuming is really leafy and highly digestible. So there's lots of energy going in their diet, but the issue is with low dry matter and high digestible grass, that can pass through the cow very quickly, and they actually don't get enough time to get all of the energy and nutrients out of it. We're only going in with about 2.5 kilos of silage, but that's enough to slow down all the grass and everything passing through them, giving them more time for them to digest it better and get more energy out of it. And that's where we're really seeing the increase in the protein and the increase in the yield. So cows have went from about 1.5 kilos of milk solids a day up, or even less, to 1.63 kilos of milk solids. So really happy with that for this time of year. The time of year that it is, with the rest of their diet, it's actually helping them get more out of that. So that doesn't mean that we'll get the same response if we were to feed this in the middle of summer or a different time of year. So we're still feeding a little bit of palm kernel, that's nearly all gone, and that'll be the last of it. I won't be getting any more of that. So when that runs out, we'll probably end up feeding more silage. So it'll be interesting to see the response that has when the silage increases and the palm kernel comes out. I don't expect them to go up in milk production anymore, but hopefully they'll hold. So just over here at the dung, this dung's here a while, a lot of weeds have to grow on that, but I'm going to get all this spread out just in the field behind the shed there. grazing part of it there. I don't think we're going to have enough to cover the full field. We might. We're not putting it on very heavy, just a light coating. But this field here, the grass doesn't grow great down the bottom of the field. It grows quite a bit at the top, but that's because the cows come in at the top here and they graze down, they graze all along, but then like they kind of hang out at the top, so they do most of their dunging at the top, which means the ground at the back doesn't get fed as well. So he's been spreading down along the side here and then across back and forth along the bottom. Did actually give this a light sprinkle of dung earlier in the year, like very light. We didn't want to go too heavy with the grazing. This field is probably closed now, so it won't be grazed till spring, but still just giving it a light coating. Dung should really help this field in the long run to get the boost up the growth at the bottom end of the field. Just putting out the last of the palm kernel. Mariana's there spreading some parlour washings. So unlike slurry, parlour washings are dirty water which has a much lower level of dry matter and is mainly just water. Because it has lower nutrients in it, you can continue to spread that after the slurry closing date. It can be spread this year until the 1st of December. So apart from the month of December, you can spread your parlour washing. So that tank in the back of the collecting yard, everything that is parlour washings is all the runoff from milking parlour. We'll try and make sure that tank is empty before the 1st of December. So the evening time there now again, and I'm throwing out a few more grabs for the morning for tomorrow's silage. Grazing conditions are pretty good for this time of year, late October, and we're doing still out grazing full time. Big improvement on last year, where this time of year we were fully housed because it was so wet outside. We had more grass out in the fields at this time last year, but couldn't get out to graze it. Even though we're quite tight on grass, if we were to stop grazing now, we would actually end up having too much grass coming into the year for next spring. We don't want to carry too much grass over the winter, or that will create more challenges in spring with grazing it out and getting good regrowth into our second rotation. Right now we're happy out, ground conditions are really good. We'll continue to keep grazing on to the middle of next month anyway, and then we will close a little bit early or on time depending on how the farm cover is looking then. So next month, November, we will be starting to dry off some cows. Some of the first calvers that are due in February, they will be dried off to give them a longer dry period, and any under conditioned cows that are calving in February as well, to give them extra time. But before we do that, we will be doing a milk recording. We need to do a milk recording within 4 weeks of drying off in order to know which cows can get dry cow treatment or which are going to be getting sealer only. So we'll be doing 2 milk recordings still left to do. One hopefully we'll be doing soon, just in the middle of organising that, and the other we will be doing then in November. Yesterday we took some milk samples of some high cell count cows to see what bacteria the mastitis is, so we know what tube Sorry, the end of this video might be choppy and changey. My camera keeps cutting out on me. Okay, so I'm just inside and was about to put the footage on the computer to start editing, and I got an email with our silage results. We took this silage results from the very front of the clamp when we had just taken out a few grabs of silage. A little bit disappointed with the results, to be honest. I thought it would be higher, especially the way it seems to be feeding. Whether it would be worth taking another sample now that we're further into the pit, and it mightn't be worth it, but we'll see. Just looking at our silage results here. Sorry, I should probably display this on the screen, but just a quick look at the summary. Our dry matter is 22.3%. That was to be expected. I would like that to be higher, but I did expect it to be low. Our energy is 10.8, so a little bit low. We would like it to be in the 11s or even over 11.5 ideally, but this is third cut. So third cut is very difficult to get high energy because the grass simply isn't going to have as high energy as your first cut. Crude protein 14.4, average enough really. Ideally we'd like to see it over 15%. Most of my learnings from this I have got from Farm Theory on one of his videos on how to make, I think he called it the science of silage. Definitely worth checking it out. But from what I've learned from him and from my advisor and other sources, this is what I'm getting at. But our DMD up here is really what surprised me. 69.8% DMD. So I knew this silage wasn't going to be the top. It wasn't going to be up at, you know, the high 70s, but I did expect it to be probably in around the mid 70s at least. So again, a little bit disappointed with that. It's just shy of 70. This sample, if I was looking at everything, ideal for the dry cows. Yeah, a little bit disappointed with how it tested. It would be interesting that if I was to test it again, how it would it be any different or would it be much the same? But again, when I opened it, I wasn't overly that happy with it, so maybe this is an accurate depiction. But it is feeding very, very well at the moment, so maybe some of these figures could be underestimated. And cows seem to like it, so, and there's very little waste. They are eating up every blade of it. That's going to be all for today's video, guys. If you want to get in touch, guys, you can comment below, or there is a link to my Instagram and my website in the description, so make sure to check them out. Thanks very much for watching, guys. See you in the next one.